record on this computer. Perfect. So yeah, so what I want to tell you guys is today we're going to talk about Georgia O'Keeffe. Okay, so far we've been discussing all painters who are men. So today I chose to discuss Georgia O'Keeffe. She is a woman, a very, very excellent painter. And I'm going to share the screen. She's an American painter. Can you see my screen? Yeah?
Yes.
Okay, so today we're going to discuss Georgia O'Keeffe. Georgia O'Keeffe is a visual artist and is recognized as the mother of American modernism. Okay, it's amazing. She was infatuated by flowers, and then she said, "If I make them big, really big, so canvases and her paintings were very big. Okay, if I make them big, people are going to look at it." Okay, so that's what she did. She just started painting really, really big flowers, and she's known for flowers. And she was born on November 15th, 1887. She died at the age of 98 in New Mexico. 86. So there is a statement that says, people who paint live a long life. So I went to this a workshop recently, and it was a guy from out of town who had come, and all these older people, they came to this workshop, and I was kind of the younger one, whereas I'm not that young. Anyway, so all these 88, 89-year-old women were said, they told me, "You're doing the right thing because you'll live long because you're painting now." Okay, so that's a good thing. Thank you, Will. That's beautiful. I love it. I love your paintings. Anyway, so continue to create whatever you want to be. You want to be a scientist, you want to be a doctor, you want to be like a plumber, you want to be a builder of things, you want to be an architect, whatever it is you want to do, you will have some free time. In that free time, create, paint, okay? So anyway, and let's look at her education. She went to the School of Art Institute in Chicago. She studied over there. After 3 years, she dropped out because she couldn't afford to go there to college, couldn't afford to pay her tuition. And then later on, she attended the Art Student League in New York City. Okay, I'm going to mute everybody. All right. So let me tell you. Then, so she attended the Art Students League in New York City, and then her mentors were William Merritt Chase, Kenyon Cox, Louis Mora. These were the people that mentored her. She was famous for her flower paintings, like I told you. So, she was also influenced by this gentleman by the name of Arthur Wesley Dow. And what he did was, he wouldn't copy things. So if you look at all the old masters that we've been discussing, what are they doing? Like, they are trying to create realistic scenes, realistic paintings, right? So they're trying to reproduce what they see. Whereas here, this guy by the name of Dow, Arthur Wesley Dow, he would interpret what he saw and make it his own. So he would make an abstract painting of his own. So she was like, okay, I like the way he thinks and executes his paintings. And so he said, all right, she said, I'm going to do something like that. So let's look at some of her paintings. This one is Jimson Weed. She did a lot of Jimson Weed paintings. The one I sent you guys is a close-up of one of the paintings. This particular painting is in the Indianapolis Museum of Art. And guess how much it cost, okay? It cost $44 million when it was sold to the Walmart heiress, She just bought this painting, and then Eli Lilly, this is a company in Indianapolis that bought this painting from her and put it in the Indianapolis Museum of Art. If you ever get to Indianapolis and you get to the Museum of Art, make sure you go and check this painting out. Now, what is the one thing that you notice about these flowers? I'm going to unmute you. Let's discuss this. What do you think? What do you think of this painting? It's a weed. She loved these flowers, so she made it. It's I forget what the size of the painting, but you can see that it looks like the weed. But look at the leaves. They are different, right? They're very different. They're more abstract shape. So she's getting into abstraction, right? You know what abstraction is? Abstraction is where you you can interpret the painting any which way you want. So she's just changing the structure of the leaf. Okay, so that's that. Let's look at this painting of hers. This is called Black Iris. Black Iris. It was made in 1926. So you know how the iris flower looks. It's like a very nice, about this big flower. But she actually made it so big. It's about 35 by 30 inches. So, you know, it's a big painting. It's an oil painting on canvas, but very subtle colors if you see it. And then she has really dissected the middle of the iris flower and painted that. So you don't see the flower. You can't tell that it's a flower, but this is the iris flower. And she just painted only a few parts of it. Okay, let's look at the next painting. This is very famous. I, in fact, have a print of this in my home because I love it so much. The Oriental Poppies. She did a series of poppies. Okay, lots of poppy paintings. But what does she do? She took this huge big canvas and just put 2 poppies right in the big canvas. And so now what you can see is, you can see that there is like, you can see the inside of the flower, and it's very intriguing. So next time you go look at a flower, go look at the insides of it. And it has a lot of character in there, okay? So so this is one of her famous paintings. And it's in the Weizmann Art Museum in Minneapolis. And they say that this painting is the most valuable in their collection. Like, have you guys, let me ask you a question. Let me unmute you. Now, have you guys been to Dayton Art Institute? Has any one of you been to the Dayton Art Institute?
I have.
Yeah?
Yes. Yes.
Abigail, Prem has been.
Yes.
When you go there, you know, one of the things about all over America is that we have a lot of, you know, everything that is there in, say, Washington, D.C., you'll find it in a very small town. There is a theater, there is a place where people can play their music, and there is art museums. So I'm going to mute you all. So if you go to the art museum, you'll find some paintings there that are very famous, and Dayton Art Institute has them. So let's go on to the next painting. This is a pastel on paper. Remember yesterday you guys used the oil pastels? So this is a pastel on paper. So she's taken the paper, and look at how beautifully she has done this. See, she's done the shading techniques, and you know, I believe she has taken some of like a tissue or something and blended some of these paintings in. But look at it looks as though, like, you know, the ruffled, the petals of the flower, she has brought it out very beautifully. So when you use your oil pastels, you know how difficult it is. And then to go ahead and achieve this effect, it's really something, right? So how did she do this? It's with a lot of practice, okay? So that's one thing. Let's move on to another painting of hers. This is Sunflower from Maggie. And Maggie was really Margaret Johnson, who was the wife of Robert Wood Johnson, and he was the president of the company Johnson and Johnson. So in her yard, in Maggie's yard, were these sunflowers. And Georgia O'Keeffe didn't really paint a lot of sunflowers. And this is some of the rare sunflowers. Looks like a sunflower. I don't think it's very abstract. But one thing that is particularly interesting in this painting is that she's used a salmon colored background, you know, in the background, salmon color. So, and then what did she do? She picked that color and put it in her sunflowers. So inside, the shading is salmon color. So it's a little unusual, but it works. That's how it is. So I am going to introduce a new word to you. It's called the oeuvre. O-E-U-V-R-A. So oeuvre is what a person is known for. So what's the oeuvre of Georgia O'Keeffe? Flowers, right? Because look at everything she painted, most of them are flowers or, you know, organic things. Here is Jack in the Pulpit. Again, this is a weed. And she painted the very interior of Jack in the Pulpit. And she painted quite a few of these flowers. Okay? This one is a 30 by 40. So 30 inches by 40 inches. So it's a large painting. Here is My Shanty Lake George. Now, I have a story to tell you about this painting. So, you know, she used to hang out with all the guys who were painters, and they didn't think she was much of a painter. They said, oh, you use a lot of bright colors. And, you know, that's so girly to use bright colors. And so in this painting, what do you see? What do you see in this painting? Let me unmute you. So
Darker
what do you
colors.
see?
Bright colors.
They are
Bright colors.
bright color. So they are bright colors, but she muted them.
Dark.
She made them dark. Yes.
Mhm.
And you know what those guys said? They said, ah, now you're a painter. Isn't that weird? That guys would think that, you know, if you paint with bright colors, it's girlish and you're not a painter. But then if you use dark colors, yeah, now you're a painter. So this was her studio. She lived in these, her husband at the time owned acres and acres of land in near Lake George. And this was her little cabin, and she painted it. So what is characteristic about this painting is that she used very simple lines. See, the mountains are simple, the trees are very simple, very abstract. Look at that tree's trunk. I mean, it's like so, it's like dancing in the wind or something. And then she, they say that she was influenced by another artist by the name of Kandinsky, who I love, because Kandinsky was an abstract painter. And the triangles is supposed to, according to Kandinsky, is supposed to be your soul. So she utilized some of those simple lines and textures and dark muted colors just to be accepted by the guys who were painters, who were her colleagues. Here's another painting. This is actually a very sweet painting. So she would go to the D.H. Lawrence house, you know, and in that house, when she visited him, there was a bench under a tree. What do you think this is? I shouldn't have told you. It is the Lawrence tree. So it's like a pine tree. But under this pine tree, I'm going to mute you all because I don't want background noise. So there was a bench under this the pine tree, and she would lay on the bench and she saw this tree and painted that. So it was kind of twilight time, you know, and so, you know, she could see a little bit of the stars. And look, she put the stars in between. There's the little section of the cloud, the sky showing through with the star there. It's a very abstract painting. It looks like an octopus or something. But it's really not an octopus. It's a pine tree. And she was laying on the bench, looking up to the tree. So maybe you could do a painting like that. Go into your yard, lay down, take a photo of it, or lay down and think about what you want to paint and then just paint it. Okay, that's an idea. So that was the Lawrence tree. And you know, people who talk about this painting, they say, oh my God, she painted this, you know, many, many years ago, like over 100 years ago, right? And we can see this through her eyes. So when you paint something, you are going to leave a legacy of what you think you're seeing for people 100 years later to say, oh, so Prem saw this thing and she painted it, or Will saw this thing or and painted it, or Dolly saw this scene and painted it, and now 100 years later we're looking at it and we are seeing the scene through her eyes. Does that make sense? It's a powerful thing if you ask me. So this painting is what we're going to try to attempt today. Not exactly this. This is again a very large painting. It's 40 by 27 watercolor on paper. It's watercolor. So you know, in your kit you have watercolors. Let me show you. This little thing of watercolors, can you see it? This is what we're going to use. And then we're going to use a very big brush set. So what we're going to do is we are going to use the big brush and paint water on your sketch pad. Like, you know, tear a paper, because I don't want you to mess the entire sketch pad. Tear a paper, and then we're going to paint water on it. And then with another brush, we're going to take some colors and draw abstract shapes. And let's see what happens. Okay? That's our project for this session. And here she painted the sky above clouds 4. If you have traveled by air, you will see that this is what it looks like. It's actually very, very beautiful when you're flying above the clouds and the puffy clouds are down below, and then you can see the horizon in the back. It's just gorgeous. So she painted the sky above clouds because from her travels, she thought, I need to paint the atmosphere and the clouds below me. So that's what she painted in this painting. Okay. Now here's another black, white, and blue painting that was done in 1929. It's an oil on canvas and it's 48 by 30. 48 by 30. Okay. I like to paint 48 by 36s because it's a standard size canvas that I like, and I like to paint big canvases. So this is present in the National Gallery of Art. And there's some religious symbolism in here. Maybe there's a cross. You can see a cross, maybe. I don't know. So that's one painting. Here's a patriotic painting. It's a 30 by 22 watercolor and graphite on paper. So you can exactly see the watercolor because see, it's just melting into the water, not melting, but spreading into the water. So watercolor has that ability where the watercolor, if you put it on water, it has a ability to just, you know, just absorb into the water and leave these gorgeous effects. That's the nice thing about watercolor. But it's difficult to use watercolor, I think. But some people use it really well. Okay? So we're going to try to use watercolor today. All right. So this is called red, white, and blue, the flags, okay? Now, this one is the cow's skull, red and white and blue. Again, she used the reds on the border, the black in the middle, and the cow's skull she painted up. And I mean, she just loved these very big, you know, intricate things and painted them with such finesse. It's really good, you know, the way she painted them. Here's another one from the far away nearby. Again, a skull of probably a stag. And then she's put them on these little mountains, but then she made the subject huge. I mean, this is huge. It's a 35 by 40 inch painting. It's present in, you can see this in the Metropolitan Museum in New York City. So this shows what? That she was lonely at this time, I think. So painters paint their feelings. If they are sad, they paint sad paintings. If they are having a particularly tough time, their paintings become different. And I'll show you some of those paintings as the lectures progress next week. Like Picasso had like a blue period and a rose period when he was depressed, what he painted and such. So this is a time when she wasn't having a very good time, and she painted that. Looks kind of lonely and sad. But these are happy paintings, light iris, okay? Again, she didn't paint the whole flower. It doesn't look like a flower, but if you look inside the flower, that's what she painted. What does this look like? Does it look like a rose? She's telling us it's an abstraction in white rose, but what did she do? She painted the inside of a rose and painted it very, very well. Used gray tones, and white tones and such. Then again, in contrast to these light paintings, she does autumn leaves. I love leaves. I love the autumn time. And I have painted one of my abstract paintings of just leaves laying on the ground. Okay, and I can't wait to paint the real thing, the realistic painting. I did the abstract painting of that, but now I want to do the realistic painting because it's just so beautiful. The fall colors are gorgeous. So when fall comes this year, I want you to go out in the yard and take some pictures of just leaves falling around, or collect some colorful leaves, take their pictures. And that's what she did in this painting. She brought a whole bunch of leaves together and made an abstract painting of these autumn leaves, okay? And one of the things about Georgia O'Keeffe was that she loved to collect organic souvenirs. So she collected shells from the beach, or she collected twigs and plant material, and and she just loved their organic shapes. You know how people say that Rembrandt said, learn from nature. Nature is your teacher. And if you look around nature, you'll find that everything is so perfect, so perfect. How does it happen? The leaves, they come out in the spring, they're beautiful and green in the summer, and then they turn colors, then they fall off and die. Then you have twigs for these trees, and then again in the spring they come out and the leaves come. I mean, it's just perfection. How does it even happen? I don't know, but it does. So learn from the nature. Be aware of your surroundings, okay? Here's another abstraction. Autumn trees. Does it even look like a tree to you? Let me ask you. Does this look like a tree to you?
Not really.
Right?
No.
It doesn't look like a tree at all. But it's very cute that the way she did it. She just got these branches of the trees and just arranged them in a very abstract, loose fashion. So you see what I'm trying to tell you is that you don't have to draw a perfect painting. A painting can be perfect regardless of how realistic it looks or abstract it looks. You don't have to do the exact same thing. Like when you do a portrait, it doesn't have to look like you. It can look a little bit like you, but make it abstract. So but then put in colors, put in a lot of thought into it, and put on layers. Okay, work on it a lot, because this effect did not come in like 10 minutes or an hour. It took a while for her to achieve this color. Okay, so you really need to spend time on your paintings. So that's the lesson I think we all should learn from all these wonderful painters who paint. This is again from the lake. Does it look anything like a lake? Doesn't to me, but it is the lake. There's a stone there, there's the lake, there's some green that's going on, but she made it very lyrical. It's like music, So don't be afraid to change your thoughts and make it abstract, because in this day and age, people like to make things abstract. And it was like that in 1924 as well. Here's another painting. Again, Lake George in the autumn. You know, if I went to Lake George or any other place, I would go ahead and paint all the trees specifically. You know, I would put all these tree branches and, you know, make it a very realistic painting. But she made this painting where she's just put the colors. It's like a sweeping of colors, and then it shows that it is Lake George, but then it's her abstract way of representing things. Even the clouds, the way she's painted it, it's very abstract, very loose. You know, the water, it looks like, yeah, there is a flow towards this side, but the way she did it is not by showing every single ripple of the water, but just kind of, you know, just a very musical way of doing things. So I think it's brilliant what she did. Here's another thing. She just collected a bunch of leaves and put it together and made a still life and made a painting of it. But look at the hues of color in this. There's this dark maroon, there's almost black, then there's some yellow showing through, there's some green back there, there's grays, there's whites. It's just gorgeous the way she painted them. So I love Georgia O'Keeffe. And that this painting right here that I told you, this one, when I saw that painting, I just had to have it. I mean, I couldn't afford the real thing because it's really, really, I mean, you can't afford her paintings because $44 million, who has them? I don't. So anyway, so we bought a print. So we bought a print and we framed it and we have it. So let's paint today. It's going to be fun. Let's draw big. With you can use acrylic paints if you want, but I'm going to demonstrate with watercolor because I want you to use the watercolor and see what it does. Okay, and you could draw a landscape, you could draw a fruit stump, you could draw a flower. Just magnify your painting. Okay, so these are some of the examples. When I put this class together, I said, okay, this is a rose that I got for my birthday, and so I took a picture of it. And then you can draw just this portion of it, just this portion, but draw it big, okay? Or just draw like only this portion right here, small portion, but draw it big on your canvas. You don't have to draw the whole thing because the whole thing looks like a rose. But if you drew like the center of it, it's not going to look like a rose unless you tell somebody. Then you can take this painting and just draw this portion right here, just a little, okay? Again, another flower, just draw the inside of it. That's a little complicated, but it'll be fun. Here's another. So I attempted to do this yesterday, and this is what I got. Okay, but you can see that, I mean, I'm trying to draw this, but look at all these, the areas where the green is supposed to be. I spent hours on this painting yesterday. What I did was I called all my friends from out of town. I put them on speaker and I kept working on this. So I drew little dots. I was using pointillism to fill up all the little gaps, but it's just taken me hours to do that painting. Okay, so here's another example, and again another example and another example. Okay, I just want to finish this lecture by saying that the painting behind here is called Sia's Poppies, and you can see it under this link right here on this link. Okay, so anyway, paint big, paint tall, paint wide, paint magnified. That is the lesson we're going to do. So let's see. I said we are going to try to do a painting like this one, blue, which is you can see it in the Brooklyn Museum in New York City. Okay. So let's bring out. I'm going to unmute you all, but if it's going to be a little what you call it, loud, then I will mute you again. But I would like to hear what you think. So here is a paint, the sketch paper. Remember yesterday I was painting and all you could see was white. That's because I was holding it here on this side. So it was, the reflection was bright. So today I'm going to paint over here, okay? And let's see, I'm going to use these watercolors from your kit. Wonderful. And I'm going to use this brush set. Okay, let me open it right in front of you. This time I'm using the kit that you so generously was provided. Oh, and by the way, if you guys have any questions or doubts, Dr. Sunita Agarwal is your point of contact. You can call her, and her number is 937-657-7165. So if you guys have any trouble, accessing, or you have any questions, call her. She's been very kind to be the mediator. Okay, so that's Dr. Sunita Agarwal.
Just contact me your phone, please.
I will send it to you via email as well.
Right here. It's for the art class.
Now, let's
write it down.
Let's pull out this big brush. Okay. You will find that this big brush is a little, so just sort of give it a little love like that. And then dip it in some water. Let's get some water in the little. Okay, so let's see, what can we do? So we'll just dip it in a little bit of water with this big brush, and we are going to paint water onto the canvas. Just paint some water onto the canvas.
What do they love? Oh, they love those things.
So let's paint some water into half of the canvas, and then dip our brush into a color. What color would you like me to use today?
Orange. Wait, red.
Red? Okay, let's take some red. So here's the painting. Here's my brush. And Will said, let's take some red. Okay, let's dip our brush in some red and apply it. Can you see it? Just put it on. Put it in an organic shape. I don't know. Just put it in an organic shape. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to draw out an organic shape. Just put it there and there. And then just say, I want to do something that goes like that.
Eating those Cosmo pizzas, they have lots of sauce, no cheese.
And then just organic. Okay? Then take some water and put it on. So be generous with your water. There you go.
This is kind of hard.
Yeah? So I am holding this paper up, but if I were to just sort of put it on the table, I can manipulate it a little bit more. But what I'm trying to tell you is just draw the color and then put some of the color on it. So now I'm going to take a different color and put it Here. So you see, what's happening is with the water, because I painted with water first, I painted with water and then I put some color. Now you can manipulate it, make it a little dark. Make it a little dark up here. There. Okay, and let's see. Let's see if I can.
Take a moment.
Let's see if I can hold it up. Okay, much better. So here you go. Can you see it now? Yep. Let's put some dark color and then keep building it, but paint with water. Paint with water and see what happens. Follow the shapes of that and let's see what happens, okay? There. Okay, now I want to introduce a different color.
Beautiful.
Let's see.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing. If they have any Kinder eggs in the cheap, could you get a couple? All right, I'm gonna keep working. You get some Kinder eggs if they have them. Love you, Mama.
So when you go outside and paint, remember, like you can use watercolors because they dry really fast. Unlike oil colors, that oil paints that take a long time, you know, watercolors tend to dry really fast. So what I'm doing is I'm just adding some organic shapes. Doesn't matter. You just put like whatever your heart desires. Just put it in there and work your magic. Okay?
I'll work my magic.
Good job. Good job.
Ooh, this is nice. Oh crap! I need to find my charger for my computer.
You can have fun with it. You can do whatever you like. And you're doing some abstract painting, but you know, everybody thinks that there's no thought process that goes into abstract painting. That is not true. Very famous abstract artists like Pollock, you will learn about, I think,
Take a moment.
you will know that they have a huge, they know what they are going to paint. So
I
it's
love
not
this
as
painting. I'm doing such great.
very good. Very good, Will.
Mine sort of looks like it's fading.
Yeah?
So I'm gonna put a second coat on it.
Okay.
I'll be right back. I need to go find my charger.
Okay.
Sorry.
Anybody else have any questions, comments? Let's see. Abigail, show us your work. I love your work. Go ahead and show us what you're doing.
There we go.
There you go. Cool.
Oh, crap.
Anybody else wants to share? Joe?
How many layers can we put on this?
It's up to you. Georg, let's see what you're painting. Nice. That's nice. Very nice. And Jared, let's show me what you're painting, darling.
Oh crap! I gotta go.
Okay.
Well, I'll see you guys. 'Cause I gotta go.
Oh, wow. Abby, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. I'm so excited to see all your paintings.
I'll bring her over here.
Very nice. Very nice. Jared? Okay. All right, let's keep painting.
Take her downstairs. I gotta give her medicine. Hi. Can you not put this on my computer? Yeah. All right. Switch. Yeah.
So yeah, abstraction is whatever your heart desires. Just go ahead and do it. So sometimes people will take this brush. Okay, let me show you. Let me see if I can see myself. So I know I can. Okay. So you can take this brush, right? This is a thick brush. You can take your watercolor pad, take a little bit of red on one side, take a little bit of blue on the other, and then paint it. Oh, look at that. You got red and blue, and then when you go into other colors, it becomes a different color. So you could do that too. So just go in here and do a blue and a red, whatever. You can mix two colors. I'll talk to you a little bit about color theory, the next class that we have.
I don't know what I'm doing.
No, just what I'm trying to teach you is that, how to use your kit. Where can you do, what kind of stuff do you use it for? And then later on, you can use these mediums in whatever you are painting later on, okay? So that's my attempt, is just to teach you about all these beautiful artists that we have over the years in our world, and how they've influenced, art over the centuries. We're learning about artists, their lives, and what they thought. Art is not easy, as you can see. I mean, we are doing I'm painting something, but it takes me a lot of effort to do something that is gorgeous. Now I'm going to put some black in it. Just some black. More. So put some thought into your process. And remember, you're not going to be a painter just because you took this class, but definitely you're going to know a lot about famous painters. If you go back and study this on your own, you will find that, you will know a lot about famous painters than the average kid out there. Okay? So, and then their lives, like, I didn't give you quotes on Georgia O'Keeffe. How did I miss that? But I'll send you some quotes over the email today in the afternoon. So, learn from their lives, learn from their experiences, and then whatever you choose to do it well, okay? That's the idea of this class. This class is not going to make you a painter, but definitely it'll teach you about the lives of all these artists and a little bit about the famous paintings, and that'll make you more educated. Does that make sense? That's what we are trying to do. So continue to work on this. Does anybody have any questions?
I don't know what I made, but this is what it looks like.
Let me see, Prem. Hold it up high. Oh, nice, nice. Yep.
I don't know what it is.
It's okay. It's an abstract thing. So the thing about painting is that sometimes you will start working on like a painting, and as it progresses, it'll speak to you. And then that's how I name my painting. My paintings are all kind of weird names, you know, like Purple Rain. So one day I started painting with a lot of blues and purples and pinks and like chartreuse greens and stuff like that. And then I left the painting outside, and then I thought, what should I name it? And then my daughter and I were discussing the painting, and then I said, well, it looks like rain to me, and it looks like it's raining purple, so I called it Purple Rain.
Mm.
So when you look at your painting, give your painting the respect it needs. So look at it, work on it like I told you, put in layers, you know. So I showed you this unfinished painting of one of the masters, you know, and you will see that even the unfinished painting is so valuable because you can see the first or second or third layer on it. It's not the finished painting. So imagine how many layers go into the painting. Does that make sense? So go ahead and spend time. Love your painting. Love what you do. You know, keep building it up. You know, sometimes you don't have to fill up the whole thing. You can leave negative spaces. Negative spaces meaning like you've left the canvas blank, like there are white spaces in there. But then again, you can come back. I want this painting over here to be a little bit more blue. So I'll just add a little bit more blue. See, that changes the character, right? And I want to add a little bit more blue over here. See? So when you do more and more layers, so I want to add another layer here. Okay? When you add more and more layers, it'll start coming out. I mean, I'm just drawing organic shapes, right? But I'm just manipulating the brush. See, the brush is being manipulated by me. I'm twisting and I'm turning. I'm making music with the brush. See? So that's what you do. You just take your brush, fill it with paint, and then go like thin, then you thick, then you twist it. And here what I'm doing is I'm going over the pink, so it makes purple. The red and the blue makes purple. That's nice. I kind of like it, you know? And then I'll drop it like that. Then I'll go back, wash my brush a little, just wash it. Okay, I wash it, wash it, wash it. And then if I want to take another true color, I don't know, which one did I not use? I did not use the brown. So I'll take the brown. I'll put it somewhere near the black. But see, I didn't pick up much color. So that's okay. It looks kind of neat actually. There. And then I'll take some more, make it darker there. And because the brush is not that clean, it picked up some of the brown, the greens from there. That's fine too. I like it. So I'm going to leave it. Okay. Then I'll take some more brown, put like a little, and just It's very lyrical. You just do what you want. Abstraction is very liberating because you're not trying to paint something that's realistic. You're not trying to copy it. That's what Georgia O'Keeffe did. She said, I don't want to do realistic paintings. I don't want to copy what's up there for you. I don't want to do, like, I don't want to present you with a flower that looks like a flower. So she decided she was going to paint something different. A different perspective was given to us. And it took off, you know. In her own words, she said, I paint it big, they will come and look, they will be forced to look at it. That was what she said. Okay? So there you go. I'm going to stop here and I'll continue to develop this and we'll see what it comes up with. Okay, I'm going to close this and move this thing away. Dropped it. Oh well. So again, I'll show you this painting that I'm trying to develop. It's going to take me a long time. I know I spent hours on it already. So as simple as they appear, they're not that simple. So go ahead and spend more time on it. So now I'll take some questions. Does anybody have any questions? Let me unmute you all. Does anyone have any questions?
No.
This looks like a blob to me.
This looks like what? Let me see where you are. Hold on.
The blob.
A blob. Okay, I'm going to take off this.
I do not know what it is.
Yeah. Take a picture and send it to me. You can text it, you know how to take a picture and then text it to me. Text it to me and then let me look at it as a whole painting. Okay?
Yeah, because it's not done, and I can't see looking anything like, what I can call it.
Yeah, yeah. Keep developing it. Keep developing it, and then you'll get a inspiration. Dolly, let me see what you got so far. Oh, nice, nice, nice. I like it. Develop it further, okay? Very good. Abigail, let's see yours.
You show yours?
Nice, very nice. And Georg, you want to show me yours? Very nice, very nice. Excellent. Georg, I would advise you to take off that and from your sketchbook and put it somewhere. Abby, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
Abby, that's important. Love it. So I'll tell you one more thing. Put more water. I mean, I was just trying to demonstrate, but put more water in some areas and just take a brush and hold it right on top of the water and see how it disperses. It's really interesting. And then there's another effect that's really sweet. So what you do is put some water and then put some salt, like table salt. Just sprinkle some salt and then put the colors over it. See what happens. It'll give you a different look. So do these little experiments, okay? And oh wow, Savannah, that is beautiful. Look at that.
Thank you.
I'm impressed. Very nice. Very, very nice. Everybody is doing so well.
Her video went off. I didn't.
Jared, let me see your painting.
It's a world that never existed.
Yep, it's coming together. Very nice. Put more color in it. Oh, Haley, that's great. I love it. So, you know what I want you to do? Go outside, pick a flower, and draw the very inside of the flower. Okay? And because you're using watercolor, it'll dry really fast. So you can send that picture into. I have about 38 pictures already. So you guys are doing really well in sending me photographs. I haven't received some people, but most of you have sent me pictures and I really like it. I hope there'll be 100% participation because your lecture 12 is going to be your exhibition of your paintings. Okay? Next week, when I would like for you to invite everybody, and I will be traveling the week of August 2nd. So I think I'm going to give you one extra week, and then maybe then the following week we can have the last 2 lessons, or probably the last lesson, which is your exhibition. I think I will ask you guys. In fact, today I'll send out an email asking if we can do 2 hours in next Friday instead of 1 hour, because it may be 1.5 to 2 hours. So we can cover PowerPoint 11, which shows you how to market your art. You can get yourself a website free, with a few paintings, not a whole lot. And then I'll teach you that in that one lecture. And then we'll give a week's gap in which you will learn, your marketing skills. You'll put it in practice. You're going to invite everybody to come to your exhibition. And then a week later, we'll have your exhibition. And that's it. That will be the end of your class. And then if you want to, you can come back and join me later on. Okay, so I'll do this once a month and you can come and show me your pictures and so forth. And I hope that you will join us. So you'll learn more about other painters. There's so many wonderful painters, wonderful people that you should learn about. And we can do that like once a month. And that way you'll learn more and more about people. Okay, so again, I will send an email today with the number for Dr. Sunita Agarwal. So if you have any other questions, like your parents have questions, they can reach out to her. They can reach out to me as well, but Dr. Agarwal is the one who's coordinating our group, and she's doing a fabulous job of it. Okay, so thank you so much, and you guys have an awesome day. It's beautiful outside. Go out, draw a leaf, draw the inside of the leaf, or draw the inside of a flower, or pick up a stone and just draw just part of the stone. Do something like that. All right, you take care. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you very
Thank
much.
you. Thank you, Hyacinth.
Bye bye.
Bye bye, everyone.
Bye bye.